my name is Faith Mbatha. I'm a learning designer and digital learning consultant. I've been doing this for about 2 years, and it's something that's been very exciting, and it's a journey of growth. And I'm here to share my story. Welcome to Meet the HR Show.
It's been very many
ages. No, it's been years and years upon years.
Yes. How have you been?
Mimi niko salama.
Yes.
As all Kenyans say, tunang'ang'ana. Tunasukuma, yeah.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And welcome to the show.
Thank
and we're
you.
hoping to just have a look into your career and being a learning designer.
Yeah.
Who is a learning designer?
Who is a learning designer? A learning designer can be so many things, but to just maybe make it clear, a learning designer is someone who creates content, who creates curriculum.
Okay.
But the way you guys are content creators in other sectors, we are content creators in the education aspect.
All right.
So we design curriculums, we design trainings, we design basically anything, and it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't even have to be in the education space, but it is mainly for a learning aspect, yeah? So it could be for hospitals, it could be for, insurance companies, there's different things, but it does have a learning element to it.
All right.
Yeah.
So how did you find yourself in such a career?
I'm not sure if learning design has maybe it does have a degree to it.
Yeah.
But I did computer science in my undergraduate degree at the African Leadership University in Mauritius.
Yes.
And in Mauritius, we had you could study and work.
Yeah.
And it was 20 hours a week maximum that you could work.
Okay.
So you have to find something that's in between that space, and also something that can give you some little money to, get along with life in uni. So my friend referred me to a job where she was working, but she got tired of, where she was teaching kids how to code.
Right.
I don't think she realized maybe that's not her passion.
Yes.
So I started the work, and it was like a 2-hour bus ride from where I lived. So imagine, I travel 2 hours, I go there, or to different schools, and then we teach kids how to code using different apps, Scratch, Tinker, the different apps. Yeah. So for me, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
From the start, the teaching aspect, because I think I've always enjoyed teaching kids, because I also do that for Sunday school.
Yeah.
But then I realized I had to design the lesson plans that we were using. And getting into that, I feel like I'm a very theoretical and factual person.
Yeah.
So getting things into writing, and now thinking of creative ways to make the class more interesting, to hit the learning objectives while the kids are still entertained. It was very challenging to me, and it brought out an interest in learning design. But I guess the cap for me, or the what's it called, the bulb moment, is when in April of 2020 I was told to plan coding camp for kids with autistic kids. So starting to plan that and designing the lessons, I realized there's zero materials that I could find to tell me how do autistic kids learn, or how
do you
to
go
engage
about
them.
it?
Yes. So I was like, this space has a lot of potential. This space, till now my passion is in learning disabilities and stuff, but that lack of information that I encountered from the beginning is the same block that is happening to me right now. So I am growing as a learning designer, but that's why eventually I want to venture in.
Now, how did you work around that period?
So I'll say sadly, because I really wanted to figure out what to do, but then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So we couldn't have a camp anymore.
All right.
Yeah.
And now, coming to design, for us, we have graphic designers. They have a concept, then develop it, then it becomes a whole, let's say, an animation or even a movie.
Yeah.
Now for you, what's the process in between?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So learning design actually entails a lot, right? Let's say you're my client.
Okay.
You come and you bring me your project. So the first thing I'll do definitely is go through what you want.
Yeah.
And then you have a target audience, right? So I have to research on your target audience. And this could be, maybe I come to where you are.
Okay.
If it's students, I test out what the students want, ask questions and stuff like that, just to get an idea. Or I can design a sample,
Okay.
take to the students or whoever and test it out with them. Once I've done the first phase, which is research, I come back. When I'm back, I now start the whole design process. Yeah, I'm creating the content, I'm doing this here and there. And once that's done, you as a client, of course, you review. And then once you've reviewed and we've made the iterations necessary, now it goes to the target, the client, your audience rather.
All right.
Once it goes to the audience, again, it has to come back with feedback on how to iterate it. So I would not say it's a one-off process. Sometimes it could be a hit, sometimes it's hit and miss, but it's a lot of feedback and iteration that goes around the design process.
All right. And now the process, it's so much back and forth. Someone who doesn't have patience, can they survive here?
Yeah, so it requires a lot of patience, because at most times clients don't really know what they want.
Yeah.
To start with, clients have no, I mean, they could come with a rough idea that you need to figure out, and once you figured it out, you realize, oh, now is when they're like, oh no, actually I wanted it like this. So from you creating is where they're like, no, I didn't want it to look like
You
this.
have to change it.
Yes. So it requires patience. I won't lie. I won't say that, oh, if you don't have, no, you will be humbled and
The first years.
you will be humbled, and you'll have to have that patience and just to enjoy what you're doing. You know, at the end of the day, you enjoy it, and the frustrations that come along with it,
You just deal with
you
it
do
as
it.
time comes.
Exactly. You go with it.
And now, did you go for certain trainings, because designing and coding
No.
sounds a little bit far?
So, would I say trainings? Kinda, because
Okay.
as soon as I was done with university, I started applying to jobs in this space, yeah, as a designer. And my first job had me move to South Africa. So the whole of last year, I was in Joburg. And once I got there, the company, yes, did for me some training, and it equipped me with like knowledge on how to do design and how to facilitate and different things. So as I was moving, as I was working, I was learning. Yeah. So it was more of baptism by fire, but also there was a bit of training that was going along. And then so I left the job in October. I was more keen on coming back home to now work here.
Yes.
Once I came back again, immediately I started a job here, and I do get some training. I have an amazing boss who's done learning design for 15 years. So
So it's been something that has been there
imagine
all those years.
imagine. That's when you realize, especially in the education space, there's so many, we only know of teachers,
Only.
lecturers, but you realize like there's so many buckets and so many things that people can actually get into.
True.
Yeah, you don't have to be a teacher. Unajua hata mimi naogopa kwa mwalimu.
Unajua mimi nisimame mbele ya blackboard na chalk.
Imagine. Unajua venye tulikuwa primary, unaona teacher unasema could
Me
never be me. But yeah, you can be very interested in the education space and realize like there's actually different things
There's
you can
potential.
do. There's a lot of potential.
All right. Is it a one-person job, or do you have other people like you work with?
So it's not a one-person job.
Okay.
Unless you're an independent consultant and you have the strength and the energy.
Yeah.
Why I would not recommend it to be maybe a one-person job is, even if you're an independent consultant, it needs several eyes, yeah?
Okay.
You can come with a train of thought, or you can work on the same project for such a long time that you become so monotonous.
Okay.
But having a third party or a second party look at your work and give you feedback, or just bring ideas, it becomes easier. And sometimes you can leave it in the middle for someone to do as you work on something else, then come back with a fresh brain.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
mind block to just get an ease of it.
Mind block is real.
Yeah.
It's very real. You can just end up creating something that is not usable at all.
Yes.
So it's important to make sure that it's not monotonous. That monotony can kill you.
All right.
Yeah.
And now for your chain of work. Before the project is given to the client, it passes through who and who and who?
Okay. So I'd say, like, personally where I work, first it's, once I create something, definitely I ask my boss to have a look. She trusts me, but I want also her perspective and her opinion, yes. So once she does that and she feels it's good to go or make some changes, definitely now it goes to the client, yeah?
Yes.
Once it goes to the client, and I think this works in, I told you also I'm a digital learning consultant, and it's basically the same process where once it goes to the consultant or whoever to the client, there's usually open amount rounds of feedback that
Alright.
maybe you agree upon from the beginning. So it could be 3 rounds of feedback, 4 rounds, depending on the contract that you have. So that's those rounds of feedback that goes between you and the client to make the changes, and then once it's a closed case, that could be before it goes to the audience, or in some cases with your client, it could be after it goes to the audience, it comes back, we change it. You know, just because they want to actually test it with the audience that they have created it for. So some it depends on the contract, depends on the client.
Yeah. And does it really involve just making curriculums for kids alone, or do we have other curriculums that embrace the adult space?
Oh, it's not kids alone, definitely. I could say it ranges from kids to definitely the working class, yeah? Maybe, let me say, I'm thinking of maybe an insurance company, yeah?
Okay.
They want to hold an accelerator program for the employees to upskill them.
Yes.
So you will have to go and research what insurance entails, what you who doesn't have any idea of insurance, and how you're gonna train them and how you're gonna upskill them. Definitely, it's in conjunction with the maybe the HR or whoever has more information about it. But it's not just for kids. It goes across, and I think that's the beauty about it, where the monotony does not come, because you're dealing with insurance, you're dealing with hospitals, you're dealing with different kids. You know, like
And you can handle how many projects? For example, this week, how many concurrently?
Wow. So at the moment, there's a really big project we've been working on for the past year.
1 year.
Yeah.
Just making one curriculum.
So it's not. So how do I put? So it's more of it's a company that sponsors kids from secondary to university. Yeah.
Okay.
So they want curriculum from Form 1 till Form 3.
Yeah.
Then there's gap year after Form 4. Then from first year to whatever year.
Yeah.
So, and it's for each term, yeah? So you have to go, they're based in Likoni in the coast. So we had to go there, and then once you create the curriculum for the kids, you also have to create curriculum for the trainers who are going to train the kids.
Yeah.
And you also have to train them. So it's actually be a 1 year full on, like.
And now, does it need any sort of teaching training? Because when you're making the lesson plan, you have to be in line with the syllabus.
So most times you will find that when people are asking your clients, it's really about soft skills. Yeah. Basically, I've never had someone come to me for a biology curriculum.
Exactly.
It's usually like a lot of soft skills. Yeah. How can I equip my children with great communication, great collaboration? And these are things that definitely you can find on the internet, yes.
Yeah.
But also with time, you learn a lot about it. Even as I was in South Africa, it was an education company for plumbers, electricians, for such type of people. But then my side was to teach them with soft skills, yeah? As they get into the job market, yes, they have the technical skills, but do they know how to communicate with the bosses, with the clients? Do they know how to work in a team? So it was, it's mostly usually soft skills, which does not really require a curriculum. There is education companies that have frameworks on how they think this should be, that should be.
Yeah.
But there's no really a curriculum per se that,
And now the digital learning consultant part.
Yeah.
Did that one come into life because of the COVID part? Because that's the time we had lots of Skype, lots of Zoom.
Yeah.
Was it backed by that?
So pretty much actually, because when I was in South Africa, again, when people hear you have a computer science background, even if you're in the education, they expect that you will somehow give a technological aspect to your job, yeah?
Yes.
So once COVID hit and things were going, I'm the one now in SA who was in charge of shifting learning from in-person to an online space.
So that one is in your university?
No, when I was working in South Africa for
right.
that institution, yeah? So they wanted me to shift the learning from the institution from in person to online.
now online.
So doing that, I was like, oh, this is actually a lot of work. You know, I thought it was just scheduling Zoom. I didn't know even the lesson plans have to be adapted to be suitable for online, because now I can't tell students get into groups. You have to get into breakout rooms, you know, things like that. So I realized, like, wow, there's a lot to learn. People don't even know how to. Yes, we know how to use phones, we know how to use computers, but there's actually things like writing emails, things like there's a lot of digital literacy that we assume, because based on privilege we assume that everyone has, but then you realize you have first to train these people on digital literacy before you even put them on these platforms. People don't have devices, people don't have data, there's a lot to think about when it comes to digital learning. And the fact that it was so easy for these big universities to adopt it, it's sad, because grassroots people are not able to afford the same level of So that's how I got interested in that. I applied to a master's, which I'm currently doing with the University of Leeds, a master's in digital education. God willing to graduate next year. Then as I was applying to come, as I was coming back to Kenya to work, I also applied for an internship on digital learning to just see
how am I to scale yourself.
Do I like this? Is it something? And again, that's something now I've done for a year, since October last year till now. I moved from internship to now a consultant. So I work for a Netherlands-based company, and that's what I do.
You're mentioning big companies. How are you getting yourself to get known to them?
What I would say, the first one, like the Kenyan company I work for, it's called Education Design Unlimited. My uni actually provides like, it gives us knowledge on companies that are hiring and stuff like that, But I would say, yes, you can get a place where there's jobs and whatnot. How I got into it is, during COVID time, they were doing a campaign called Keep Kenya Learning. They wanted a campaign intern, and I was like, you know what, there's some internships nimefanya marketing. I can just
something small.
And I was like, you know what, they're not offering a lot of money. Actually ilikuwa steep, but I was like, you know what, I'm home, nimemaliza shule, what do I lose? What hii ni kitu naweza weka kwa CV, wacha ni
kujaza CV at least.
I did that period of campaign with all my heart, and my boss was like, you know what, I have a company. So it was based by different companies coming together for that campaign. So one of my bosses there was like, no, you're really hardworking, and I have a company on the side. Do you mind coming to work on it? And like, it's about learning design. You can learn on the job. Imagine that's how I got. So I started with them for a month, but I told them nime apply kwenda SA nikipata, bahati mbaya itabidi nimeenda. So when I worked there for a month, I got my job in SA. I left. But as I left, I was still in communication with them. I was still talking to them. And nikamwambia, can I come back? Neza rudi. And they're like, yeah, sure, come back. And since then, I've been back with them. For the Netherlands one, LinkedIn. Imagine me hutafuta vitu LinkedIn.
So LinkedIn, watu wasipuuze waseme.
I saw it on LinkedIn, and I was like, and the thing is, follow people who are in that space you want to work in. Wanna post these opportunities, they post those jobs, they post companies who do that you can go and apply. Exactly. Like, just be very intentional with your job search, with what you want. Even if you just follow people, Wa message, wa DM, like on LinkedIn. Yes, or even if you're not asking them for a job, ask them, can you connect me with someone who can, people have networks. Usinyamaze tu hapo ukidhania, yes, your work will sell. But no, you need to also, networking is a very important part when you're looking for a job, because once you know this person, they will recommend you to another person.
True. And now, when you're on LinkedIn, do you work on a portfolio, or do you work on a CV to show the works you've done and the people you've worked with?
Yes. So I think many people just put their job on LinkedIn. Like, I'll put my picture, I'll put what I do and where I've worked. But something maybe I noted that many people, I don't know, some people now people are becoming aware of this thing. But even as you post your job, post what you have done. Like 3 points. Like, I worked on this project of getting 5 partners, blah blah blah. You know, post what you have done, because me, if I'm a recruiter per se, I
Yes.
will come and check like what have you done, what can you bring to my company. Yes, you've worked as a HR manager, but I don't know what you've done. You know, maybe you were
Yes.
just chilling.
Uh-huh.
So just as the same way in your resume, in your CV, you have what you have done with 3 points, at least 3 points of what you have done with impact, number of
Yes.
people, just the impact that you've created.
True.
Put that also on your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So someone can come at a glance and be like, even if I don't see your CV, I can tell what you've done.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also for the photos, because sometimes you find people putting all manner of photos on their LinkedIn.
Of course, Aki guy, see Facebook, guys, please. See Instagram, see Snapchat. It's proper, like it's a professional platform.
Yeah.
Don't go there to vibe. Don't go. No, just have a professional picture. It doesn't still as uende kwa studio. Just have a nice
good,
background,
decent
uko
photo.
decent, yes, and just, and then also you can state, unajua inakwanga na part ya bio, like you can put a description of yourself, just a 1 sentence of what matters to you and what you're looking for.
And you sell yourself.
Yes.
And now, do we have companies in Kenya where they have a physical office and now provide learning design options or even consultancy? Because I understand you work from home.
Yeah.
Now, do we just have companies that's their role? They have an office and there is where you work.
In the learning design space.
Yes.
I'm sure they are there.
Yeah.
I could, yeah. It's actually such a flexible job. I don't think people per se would be in an office.
All right.
I barely would think that,
Yeah.
unless they offer more than just learning design. Yeah, maybe wakona trainings, wakona, yeah.
Okay. And now for someone to switch, like you switch from computer science to now learning design. Can someone just walk away from their career and say, bye, I'm now moving here?
It's scary. I mean, it's scary because you don't know what if it doesn't work out. But my belief is do it. Like, just do it. Like,
Just go
it's
for it.
easier said than done, to be very honest. Nikapa nakwambia just do it. Sometimes it can work out, sometimes it won't, but it's better to be without that what if, you know. What if I had tried, what if I had,
True.
I believe it's better to live without the what if. And then I also think that if it's something that's meant for you, and I'm a Christian, so if
Yes.
you've prayed to God and asked for guidance,
Yeah.
you'll know what's right for you,
will
and
work
it
for
will, yeah,
you.
yeah.
All right. It involves a lot of research, day and night.
Yes.
For someone who just prefers popcorn answers, can they really fit here?
That would be hard,
Yeah.
because unless I mean the thing is, learning design has very different aspects to it. Yeah,
All right.
we like people who are creative, who can just, maybe you just come up with activities, you know.
Yeah.
You can, maybe you just, but to be very honest, things are so wide. You have to research, you have to know. You unajua pia huwezi pelekea mtu like umemcreatea kitu afu hata wewe mwenyewe uelewi ni nini hiyo, or the information is wrong. Like, it means it's going to go to 1,000 more people to get false information. That's the scary bit about it. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that you could actually give a lot of false information to other people. So you can't risk.
So you just do your best research and
Yes.
ensure that things are okay.
You can't risk.
All
Wow.
right. And now, are there schools offering learning design
Yeah.
here in Kenya?
Okay, again, as I said,
22 online.
that's something. But I'm sure they should be. They should be.
Yeah.
They should be. And if not, let me tell you guys, like, there's a lot of online learning happening in this world right now. Yeah, there's my master's. I'm doing it online. It's a UK university, but so you can find courses online, even if it's not offered in Kenya and you don't have the means to go abroad. You can do something online.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now, working from home, how is it for you?
It's good. It's very flexible. I can sneak in gym time. Like, I had just gone to the gym. I was
Yeah.
not working out today, but I just go to the gym. You can like, what I like about it is my life is not about work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yes, you know, if I go to an office, like, my life is, but now I can
inside.
I can plan myself around work, but not work is not the and the thing is, I won't say it's 100% good. Sometimes working from home unaboeka pia, you know, like umekaa in the same space
and interacting with
hapa, unalala hapo.
people.
Ni kama sasa nyumbani imekuwa job. You know, nyinyi mnaweza toka hapa sasa wende home na feel different space. Me now, the frustration I have here, that's where I am sleeping, that's where I'm eating. So it can have also disadvantages to it. What I think would be good is a system where you can go to the office if you want, or you can stay at home if you want. And me as a person who works from home, I can go work at a cafe, I can go work at a space. So I really like the flexibility it offers. And the flexibility my bosses offer, as long as you've hit the deadline. Me, I can work at night the whole day, I can just chill.
So you start work at night.
Nifanye during the day, sunny, maybe I study or something.
And now for the discipline aspect. Yep.
Yeah.
How is it?
It's hard, especially, you know me. I am how do I put it? Mimi ni wale I work under pressure. Wale wenye unananga, I work best under pressure. But it's something I have learned slowly to take so having a to-do list in the morning, or during the start of the week. By the end of this week, I need to have finished all these things. It gives me a lot of discipline to just stick out and also reward myself at the end of doing that. Me, that's the only way. It's
the rewarding part, we are together there.
Yes, I have to reward myself. Otherwise, it's hard to stick to it. It's hard to know, like, leo sijiski. Because nani anasikianga kuwork all the time. Sometimes you're like, but then you're like, I need to get this done. Otherwise, my schedule will be thrown off, or I'll have to work into the weekend. Yeah.
And now, because of the time difference, does it affect the way you work?
So, luckily, Netherlands is an hour behind. So, but sometimes, you know, when they do that night switch, it will become 2 hours. Still not too bad, but yeah.
All right.
It's okay.
Okay. Now, what next for this industry? What should we expect?
I think, first, let me speak for learning design. I know, and many people would love many people to get into this space. There's so much in this space, and it has room for so many people. Like, it's not, we want everyone.
We come on board.
Kujeni, like, and why I think this would be good is because if I say there's content for Americans, there's content for, and why I would want many Kenyans or we want content that is relatable to us.
That is home-centered.
Yes, that is talking about our people, that is talking about, I don't want to have to take content from somewhere now, start translating the currency, start translating the names. Why don't we have that already available? So if we could have so many people who get into this space and now create content that's relevant for the African space. If I'm talking about finances, I can talk about Kenyan shillings. I can talk about our stock market. I can talk about things that are affecting us here, affecting Uganda. It doesn't have to be,
True. As we finish, tell me one project that you felt you gave it your all and it worked perfectly well, and how long did you take?
Wow. I could talk about what I was doing in South Africa.
Yes.
As I was saying, what we had, they were plumbers, and we were teaching them. They were now learning plumbing, the technical aspect, and we were teaching them the soft skills. And I think what made me feel so much impact is them saying how much it has changed them in terms of they were not able to communicate as well, and they were not, and just having that, actually to even see the growth with my own eyes of someone who came not knowing how to write an email, now writing an email. Someone who came arguing with everyone, now realizing that you can't just go into a professional space and yes, you can speak your mind, but there's procedures and processes to that. You know, that switch you see in people, that's what I love about education. The what's called, the reward comes almost instant. Like, takes time, but you will see it. You'll see the growth. As well as now the company I'm working for here, this project I'm telling you that's been taking a year.
Yes.
It's been amazing in terms of, because I've been to Coast, like Kwanzaa this year I've gone to Coast a lot just to see the facilitators, see the students, and just see how impactful it
Lots
is
of
to them.
interaction.
Yes, it's amazing
Nice.
to see people using your material and being like, oh my god, this is so good, I didn't know this, and you're like, yeah, well, that was
It's
a
a
whole point. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for having us, and this has been a very wonderful conversation, and we've gotten insight of what it really entails,
Yeah.
and not go to Google and ask yourself, now what does this career do?
Yeah.
At least we have one-on-one
Yeah.
conversation.
It's very true.
So-
And yeah, I think it's just a good space that you have created for people to learn more about the
Careers.
careers that exist. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for having us. This has been Meet the HR Show with me, Laurnell. Till next time, bye-bye.
All right.